Let's take a peek forward in time and look at Yummy. Hey guys, Otaker back with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Yummy deck that will be coming out in the Justice Hunters deck building set. Now, this set isn't even out in the OCG yet, which means we won't see this till like the end of the year, and like that's fine, but I think now is a good time to at least start talking about these decks because I genuinely think Dragon Tales, the Canine, and the Yummy archetypes, all three are like bangers out the gate. I think all three of them have the very good possibility of being very strong meta contenders depending on how ban lists look and other sets look. But I do think that they are very strong decks, and out of the three, Yummy is my personal favorite. Now, this is by no means an in-depth guide to the deck. We will be going over some combos, and we will be talking about a very specific deck list with some other text that can be run with it. We will probably do a more in-depth guide the closer to the set we get and the more practice I've had with this deck. But for now, we're just going to be talking about the deck. But before we do, I have noticed that a great deal of you that currently watch this video are not subscribed to the channel. So if you like competitive-based content, deck lists, and in-depth guides, consider subscribing to the channel for more so I can continue to make videos like this one. But also, leave a like down below and let me know in the comments what your favorite Justice Hunter archetype is. But with that, let's jump on in. Alright, so here's the deck list. Again, this is all very theoretical, hypothetical. We don't know what the Forbidden Limitless is going to look like going into this format. This is very far out. Like, we're looking like 10 months out probably. So this is all very hypothetical and also hasn't been fine-tuned yet. I've done a lot of testing with this, but not enough to really be confident in a more concrete list. So just take all this with a grain of salt. Yummy is very flexible. It very much revolves around Link 1s because the Link 1s can be treated as tuners for their level 2 synchros, which is absolutely insane because Link 1s were already broken enough as a concept, and they decided, yeah, let's make them even more broken. But because of this, there's some weird, like, cool interactions with some other, like, engines or other cards that can kind of pilot the deck all on their own. For the most part, we're going to ignore non-engine because we don't know what's going to be good in that upcoming format. It's all very hypothetical, but, you know, based on what's been good in the past format, Ash Blossom, Valor, Fulos, Nib, Imperm, this deck can run Purge, which I think is a card that we should be talking about for this deck. Purge is a little specific because it does cut you off of like Ash Blossom and some other cards, but it doesn't cut you off of the main line of the deck. And that's good. I like that a lot. So Purge is a card that can be run in this. Just be smart with it. And I think that's the case for even like Blue Eyes right now, which can also run Purge. It's like, just be smart on how you use Purge because you could end up hurting yourself in the long run. For the main line, though, we're just running 3 of every name. There's no downside to having the names because not only can they be good normal summons to go into the Link 1, but they can also just be brought back off the field spell. And also, even if you normal summon them, you can special summon them as well. And they're all inherent summons, which is very strong. Notably, though, the best one of the 3, at least to start the turn, is Cupsy because it can add any Yummy card to hand. It can add the field spell. It can add the quick play. It can add the names. It just can add anything. One thing to note, though, is that as of recording this video, the quick play was revealed this morning for me. So we're just going to go ahead and talk about it instead of dedicating a whole video to it. Yummy Surprise, activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. So immediately this is good because even though it's a quick play, you can actually benefit from having 2 because you can only use each effect once per turn. It is not a hard lock out of the card. So you can actually, if you have 2 of these, play multiple, and if you have 2 of them, you can activate both of them. But each effect, target 2 light monsters you control and 2 cards in your opponent controls, return them to the hand. So just an immediate bounce. You just have to control 2 light beasts. The big thing here about this first effect is it says return them, which means it has to resolve as much as possible, which means that if your targets move for whatever reason, their targets still have to be bounced to the hand. So you could technically use this to target like your Link 1 and a material that you're going to use, and then chain the Link 1 to Synchro Summon and dodge your own bounce, and then you bounce theirs. Very, very strong disruption. Special summon 1 Yummy monster from your hand or graveyard, but it cannot attack directly this turn. That's fine. Return 1 field spell from your face-up field or graveyard to the hand. Then you can place 1 Yummy field spell from your hand to your face-up field. This one feels less effective because if you're doing the combo correctly, you probably will gain access to both field spells. Needless to say, I think this card's definitely like a 2 of. This is just good. Again, you can use each effect once per turn, which means that you can activate more than one of these. Everything else, you're running a 1-for-1 because, you know, everything is level 1, might as well. I'm running the Sky Striker package, and I'll go over this in the combos, but the Striker package is just full combo. The Synchros are very generic. They just need one tuner, one non-tuner. They don't need any of the yummy monsters as material, and they just need a Link 1 to be used as a tuner if, you know, you don't have a tuner. So Hornet drones is essentially just full combo. So 3 engage, 1 Widow Anchor, and 1 Hornet drones. Widow Anchor is like less online in this deck than something like Malice, because you are going to have stuff in your main monster zone. But on the chance that you have like engage and Hornet drones in your opening hand, you kind of want to make sure like engage is still alive, so it's not just a dead card in your hand. It could just be discard, because there's some discarding in this deck. But Widow Anchor can also just help you like crack a board still. So I think this is all still very fine. 2 talents, because this card's just crazy. We don't know what ban list is going to look like. This probably won't get hit because it never does, but very strong card. Probably will remain to be strong. Where Art Thou is a card that I think we should talk about again. I talked about this a long while ago when I was playing Pearly. This card is really strong. If you normal summon a name, you can use it to search another name. Now, this only is like super crazy if you like normal summon Valor and then you use it to search out like Cupsy or something, because Valor is, you know, a level 1, so you can use Where Art Thou to get to your name, because you can use Valor, make a Link 1, which will be Anima in this example, and then use like Where Art Thou prior to making the Link 1, make Anima, and then summon out the name. This just kind of helps you like unbrick your hands, and it's like kind of a consistency thing. Now, granted, unlike Pearly, you will be taking that 2k hit, because Pearly's Sleeping Memory was able to eat that 2k hit on end phase, but it helps. And then only 1 of each field spell. I have considered running 2 of the Mignon. This is like the better one. This is like the one that kind of gets you started, and then the Akruki helps you play on your opponent's turn. So if you wanted to run 2 of the Mignon, I completely understand. Extra deck, really just 1 of each is fine. 1 of Cookie, 1 of Cupsy, and 1 of Lollipo Yummy Way. I prefer 2 of the Cupsy because this is like the better one. This is the one that's going to get you your combo. If for some reason this gets removed from the game somehow, you want to make sure you have another one as backup. But you could argue 1 of each because they do recycle themselves. They put themselves back in the extra deck. 1 of Herald of Arclight. This card's easy to make. It's really easy to make in this deck. It's an Omni Negate. It's like a pseudo Di-Fi, essentially, just monsters that get sent from main deck or hand cannot go to grave. They got to be banished, which means this shuts off stuff like Droll and Lockbird, shuts off Ogre, shuts off Valor. Very just strong card. And then Martial Metamarcher. If you do not have this card, I want to invest into it now, because this is a very strong card in this deck, because we have level 2 tuners and a bunch of level 1s. This is easy to make. It gets you bodies on the board. It's just, and it helps you bridge into Herald of Arclight. I highly recommend picking this card up now, even if they don't end up playing it. Better safe than sorry. The ultra rare is $1 right now. Might as well just pick up a couple copies just in case. As for the rest of the extra deck, we are running a whole Zeus package. The Lyralust, you can run Fucho if you want to. I think the Lyralust is just better because it can attack directly. And then Downard Zeus, why not? We're running a bunch of level 1s. Should probably just take advantage of it. We're not locked into any summoning type. We're running IP, SP. I'm running Anima because this helps you crack boards. If you have like a name, if you have like 2 names, you can summon 1, link into Anima, eat a monster on your opponent's board, and then special summon the other name from your hand, and then just go full combo. It helps you crack boards. We're playing level 1s. You might as well play Anima. It's really strong. Gagari for the Striker package, and then 2 of the links. If you want to run 3, you know, find some room. Go for it. You don't technically have to run the Zeus package, but I think, you know, might as well. Like, it again, just further helps you crack boards. So, I would recommend maybe 3 Snatchy if you can fit it. Some honorable mention cards. We're going to do a whole combo showing this off because I do want to heavily argue Dotscaper. For all my Malice players in the video right now, yes, I hate this card with a passion. I hate playing it in Malice, and I can't wait to cut it. In fact, I've already cut it, but I can't wait to never have to worry about running it ever again because this card's annoying. But there's an argument for it in this deck, and I'll do a whole combo, but you normal summon Dotscaper, and that's full combo if they have no further interaction. Like, this card is just really good in this deck. Rescue Cat, because you can use it to special summon 2 level 3 or lower beasts from deck. Man, I wonder how many of those we got. We got quite a few. So I could see an argument for Rescue Cat. Been seeing a lot of theory crafting, and I've personally been also doing theory crafting for Tri-Brigade, because you normal summon Kit into Almirage, which is your Link 1. Kit goes through its cycle of sending Nerval, adding Karis or Fractal, full combo, and then on top of that you have a Link 1, so if you have a name, Kit plus a name is full combo, essentially. Very strong engine. I could see an argument for Tri-Brigade Yummy as well. Link Spider, this deck can play in Nibiru. So if you want to extend past Nibiru, I think Link Spider is a good addition to the deck. Just finding a spot to fit it. Again, you don't have to run the Zeus package if you don't want to. You don't have to run 2 of the Lalipo Yummy Way, or sorry, the Cupsy Yummy Way. It's really just up to you. But I do see an argument for Link Spider in this deck, because if you get nibbed, you can link away the token and then just continue like extending, because you have a bunch of inherent summons if you control a Link 1. And then again, he's a tuner at this point. We have Typhon, because Typhon is Typhon. Really just depends how the format's looking going into that format, because Dragon Tails I think have a 3k monster, so like preventing them from using it is pretty valuable. Then we have Obedience School. This is getting a reprint, so the crazy thing is like 90% of you like bought this card because you wanted the max rarity, and then it jumped up to like $15. That's crazy to me. It's getting a reprint in this set, so I don't know why we were spazzing to get, you know, this card, but to each their own. I don't agree with this card. A lot of people are saying run it because it's full combo. You can use it to special summon like all of your names and then full combo, but then it locks you into beasts, so you're very limited on what you can do with your extra deck at that point. If you want to run it, more power to you. I think it's better in a more pure build, but even then, again, you're very limited with what you can do in your extra deck because it locks you into beast monsters. So I personally don't agree with it, but if it's something you want to run, you know, go for it. And then the last little thing I've been seeing people talk about is like the opening of the Spirit Gates and Dark Beckoning Beast. Again, this is a scenario where Almirage comes in handy. Normal summon Beckoning Beast, you activate opening, grab Beckoning, normal summon Beckoning, add another Beckoning, normal summon the second Beckoning, and then you just kind of have like, you just make Almirage with one of them, and then you are off to the races. Basically, Circle or Spirit Gates plus a name is just full combo. The moral of the story is that any engine that can make a Link 1 plus a name is just full combo in this deck. All right, so the first combo we're going to be taking a look at is if you open Cupsy Yummy. The effect failure is just here for discard fodder because we will have to discard off of one of the synchros. So we're going to just jump to the main phase. We're going to start by normal summoning the Cupsy, use its effect to add the Lalipo. Honestly, the add doesn't like particularly matter here, but we're going to add one of the names. We're then going to link 1 the Cupsy away for the Yummy Snatcher, and then we are going to use its effect to place the Mignon field spell. We will then activate the field spell's effect to bring back the Cupsy from the graveyard, and then we will immediately synchro these 2 away because the Link 1 can be a tuner in this deck for the Cupsy Yummy away. We will then use its effect to add 2 Yummy monsters from deck to hand and discard 1 card. So we will add another Cupsy and the Cookie, and then we will discard the effect failure. Since we control a level 2 synchro, we are able to just special summon from hand the Lalipo and the Cookie, and then we will link away the Lalipo for yet another Yummy Snatcher, and we will go for another synchro summon into the other synchro, which is Lalipo Yummy Way, and we will use its effect to bring back the Cookie and the Lalipo, and then we will synchro away the Lalipo and the Cupsy Yummy Way for a Marshall, a Metal Marcher. We'll use his effect to bring back the Cupsy Yummy Way, synchro him away with the Cookie to bring out Herald of the Arclight. And that's it for this combo. It's not much, but we got all of this off of just 1 Cupsy, off of 1 normal summoned monster. I think that's pretty good given we had 4 other cards in hand, one of which was discarded. So depending on what the rest of our hand looks, we could have a pretty stacked board, but we do have an Omni Negate that also makes it so your opponent can't send cards from deck to grave. They have to be banished instead, or even from hand. So this also shuts off certain hand traps. This will shut off certain cards that send from deck to grave for cost. But again, it is just an Omni Negate. And then on top of that, if your opponent does activate a card effect, you use Lollipo to bounce to the extra deck, bring back 2, one of which will be the Link 1 Yummy Snatcher, and when Yummy Snatcher is special summoned, not Link summoned, it can place the other field spell, which when we synchro summon with the other field spell on the board, we do get to pop a card, and the Link 1 has a quick effect for quick synchro. So we have some pretty good options, and on top of that, the synchro we did not summon is the one that can Book of Moon 2 cards on your opponent's board. So there's a lot of good options. Also on top of that, depending on which Yummy card we revive from the graveyard other than the Link 1 off of Lollipo, we will be able to get a bonus effect. So if we special summon Cupsy, we can draw a card. If we special summon Cookie, I believe we get to pop a card. And if we special summon the Lollipo, we get to shuffle a card in our opponent's graveyard back into their deck. All right, so the next combo is what Hornet Drones on its own can do, because Hornet Drones is just full combo. Keep in mind, we do have the Cupsy in our hand, but this could be either any discard or just any name. It helps if it's a name, and you'll see why in a moment. But let's just go ahead and jump on over to the main phase. We will activate the Hornet Drone, summon a Sky Striker token, and then we will immediately link 1 for the Kagari. Kagari effect, bring back that Sky Striker Hornet Drones back to hand, and then we'll activate it to get another token on the board. The perks of the Synchro 2s is they're incredibly generic. They just need a Link 1 for a tuner, or a Link 1 can be treated as a tuner, but they're really generic. They don't need a Cupsy monster to be able to make them. So Kagari with the token is, of course, just Cupsy Yummy Way. Use its effect, add 2 of the Yummy monsters to hand, and then discard a card. We will just, for this example, discard the Lollipo, but you could discard any card in your hand, not just like one of the names. From here, we will special summon the Yummy. We will immediately link it away for the Snatcher. Snatcher to get the field spell of the Mignon. Use the Mignon effect to bring back that Lollipo or Cookie. It doesn't really matter. Synchro both of them away for, once again, the Lollipo Yummy Way. Use its effect to revive the Cookie and the Lollipo. And then link one of them away for another Snatcher, because this time it will be part of the end board. And then we will synchro away the Lollipo and the Lollipo for the Martial Metal Marcher. Martial Metal Marcher effect, bring back the Lollipo Yummy Way. And then we will special summon from our hand the Cupsy, use its effect to add the other field spell, the Crookie. And then we will activate the other field spell, so that way it's part of the end board piece. But also we have the other field spell engraved, so we can recycle some of our resources back into the deck. And then we'll synchro away the Martial Metal Marcher and the Cupsy for, once again, the Herald of the Arclight. So we have a Omni Negate on our board. And then we'll use the field spell, targeting itself, the Cupsy and the Lollipo, putting them all onto the bottom of the deck in any order. You can choose like what one you want to leave in the graveyard, because in this example, we are leaving the Cookie in the graveyard. So that way, when we special summon it from the effect of one of our Synchro monsters, we get to pop a card on our opponent's board. If you want to draw a card, keep Cupsy, or if you want to interact with your opponent's graveyard, keep Lollipo in the grave. It's really up to you. Keep in mind, again, we have like 3 other cards in our hand in this exact example. We just don't know what they are. But this end board, I think, is a lot stronger because we didn't have to commit a normal summon. In fact, we still haven't committed a normal summon. We specialed that Cupsy. So we did all of this without normal summoning a single card. And we did it off of Hornet Drones alone. So we have Snatchy, which is just quick effect synchro, and we're ending on it. We have the field spell, which pops if we do synchro with this card on the board, a light beast monster that is. We're obviously going to go into the Cookie Yummy Way, which is the one that can Book of Moon 2 cards on the opponent's board. And then again, we have Herald of the Arclight, which is an Omni Negate. All right, so the final combo I want to talk about is just how powerful Dotscaper actually is in this deck. Unlike a deck like Malice, where if you open Dotscaper, it feels bad. In this deck, it's full combo, just like the Hornet Drones is. The only difference is you have to commit a normal summon this time around. So what we're going to do is we are going to immediately just normal summon the Dotscaper, link it away for the Relinquished Anima, or if you have like Almirage or Link Decoder, so you don't have to commit Anima, perfectly up to you. And then we'll use the Dotscaper to come back, synchro both of these 2 away for the Cupsy Yummy Way. Use its effect to add 2 names to hand and discard this effect veiler. We will add the Cupsy and the Lollipo. You can add Cookie if you want. It's really up to you. But what's important is we add Cupsy. That's the big one. Discard the effect veiler. Special summon the Cupsy. Use Cupsy's effect to add the Crookie field spell. You can add the quick play here if you want. It's really up to you. The quick play is also very strong. Just depends on what you're going for, because you can get to the second field spell on your opponent's turn by special summoning the Link 1 from the graveyard off of one of the synchro effects. It's really just, again, up to you on like how you want to play your turn and what you have available to you. We will then special summon the Lollipo. We will Link 1 away the Lollipo for the Snatchy effect to get the Mignon field spell. Use the Mignon field spell, bring back that Lollipo, and then we will synchro away for the Lollipo Yummy Way. Use Lollipo, bring back the Link 1 and the Lollipo. They are negated when you revive them off of the summon effect of the Lollipo Yummy Way, which does come up here in a moment. We will then synchro away the Lollipo and the Cupsy for the Martial Metal Marcher. Martial Metal Marcher effect, bring back the Lollipo, who is, again, also negated. We will then synchro away the Lollipo and the Martial Metal Marcher for the Herald of the Arclight. And then we will Link 2 away the Lollipo and the Snatchy for IP Masquerena. This is good because what we can do is we can use the Cupsy Yummy Ways effect to bounce itself, bring back like a name and then the Snatchy from our graveyard. They're not negated when you do the bounce effect of this. Then use the Link 1 to quick synchro into the one that books, and then use that to bounce, bring back bodies, and then IP can do its thing to make like Little Knight. To wrap things up here, we will activate the final field spell, the Crookie. That way we have a pop when we decide to quick synchro on our opponent's turn. We'll activate the field spell Engrave to put back the synchro and the Lollipo in the graveyard, and then itself back into the deck, so we have recycled resources. And that's it. Like, Dotscaper did all this. That's actually crazy that Dotscaper is this valuable. Like I said in the deck profile, you don't have to run Dotscaper. I think he's perfectly fine in a deck like this because he is capable of being able to do this full combo all on his own, essentially. And then on top of that, he can't be like Bish Shield away. And if that's if Bish Shields, you know, get hit on this list, which God hopes they do. So the main reason I wanted to show this combo is just to give like Dotscaper like an argument to be ran in this deck. I think not a lot of people are giving him enough credit for the fact that he can just do all this just on his own and then a free discard on top of that. And that's really it. Again, I didn't want to go into a full in-depth guide. There's a lot of theory crafting still to be done about this deck. Nothing's concrete. This set is still like 9-ish months out, probably. I mean, maybe not that far out, but it's still a ways out. We got plenty of format before we get there. But for the most part, this is kind of like a foundation, somewhere to start, something to think about, something to just keep in mind. But let me know in the comments below maybe if I missed something, didn't talk about something that maybe I should also be thinking about myself. And also leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are not currently. But with that, I'll see you all in the next video. See ya.